in the group stage. And I don't know. I don't know how much bad blood is there like we talked about before. I think really for FaZe, watching Space Station and specifically Daniel dismantle their previous opponents in version 1, you've got to bring your A game when Space Station is playing this way.
And Corelli, group stage is one thing, but when you're in that elimination bracket, that is when the pressure is on. That is when questions are answered. This series, an important one. Typical against his old team. Daniel trying to prove his worth. You heard Gibbs say he's no first killer.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if that's true or not.
I don't know. I'm willing to say he has proven his worth. He has been phenomenal in most of these series, in most of these games. You just saw what he did against version 1. He had a lesser game against FaZe before, but he starts things off here today, putting away his first shot. Reynolds dishes it off.
He may be no first killer because he's Daniel, and he's showing you what he's made of.
What a way to start things off. And like we said, he was playing so well just a moment ago against version 1. That has carried over clearly here against FaZe. Like I said, FaZe are definitely going to have to pick it up here. Space Station is a much different beast than NRG. I thought the desk was very right to talk about the demo specifically. That's a big component, I think, of the Space Station game right now. And we'll throw off a team like FaZe, especially for a team that expects to win every single challenge, who expects to have a player in the right spot at every single moment.
And there's a demo playing a part yet again. Arsenal punches it through. The second goal for Space Station. Arsenal, even on that play, you saw AJ trying to bump him. It didn't even matter.
Here it is again. Physical play, like you mentioned, coming out. Reynolds taking out first killer. I mean, all of Space Station. FaZe was in the same spot there, so it didn't really matter who he picked. Someone was going down, and that ball was certainly going in. And for Space Station, things just working out for him right now. Beautiful physical plays leading this game right now, 2-0.
See how FaZe respond. Excellent start from Space Station. They fell to FaZe in the group stage, like you alluded to, Corelli, but they have been on a tear through the lower bracket. First killer setting up a pass to the middle. Reynolds powers through. Arsenal flicking it by. AJ in a 1v1. It's a battle in the trenches between Arsenal and AJ. Arsenal staying there, getting in the way, and it's still going for the play. Arsenal, that grit and determination.
Can't get the ball. You can chase some of the players as well. Make it difficult. Make them think when they're on the ball all the way down the field, even if you're out of boost. And that's where Arsenal shines. Now Reynolds will beat the defense again. It is 3-0 for Space Station here in the first 2 minutes.
Tough start. You see first killer trying to back pass it with all his might. AJ putting all the chips on the table, going all in, and they lost the pot. The third goal now for Space Station. They're pulling away. Only 2 minutes gone. Did you expect to see this, Corelli?
I mean, I expected Space Station to play well. And for FaZe right now, I did not expect them to throw up a bunch of zeros on the scoreboard. Typical, the only one with a stat line with a save and a shot. Everyone else, zeros for FaZe. Of course, only coming up on halftime here in game 1, but you got to give credit over to Space Station. The physical gameplay and the pressure that we're seeing from everyone between Arsenal and Reynolds especially. It's really throwing off FaZe. It's difficult for them to find their bearing and get downfield cleanly. Here's some opportunity now for AJ, but denied by Reynolds with the poor flick.
And you talk about, and you see a double commit there. FaZe not on the same page. Daniel right towards net. Another shot that's going to test the defense from FaZe. But you said it, Arsenal and Reynolds, they are the core of that demo style play. Now a rebound out. The light hit off to the side, almost getting another one. Arsenal and Reynolds continuing to make a difference with that physical gameplay. And then you have Daniel. You spoke of pressure as well. That shot off the bounce was really difficult for him to put on target, but he did, and that made FaZe scramble. They sent more players at the ball, and it seems on all aspects, possession, forcing shots, the bumps, everything in favor of Space Station at this moment.
FaZe trying to get some control here, looking for the backboard. First killer has an opportunity, but immediately Space Station all over it. AJ picks up full boost. He'll try his chances on net, and again denied by Reynolds once again. They can't even get off the ground without Space Station being in their face. Now a shot comes out, still turned away from Daniel off the crossbar. Spacestation not giving FaZe an inch.
Even defensively, Spacestation making plays, but offensively from FaZe, that is what they needed. It was a nice setup. First killer getting the pass out to AJ, who has been scoring most of the goals for FaZe. Another shot will be high. Rebound's going to be blocked by Arsenal. Life starting to be shown from FaZe. Still not managing to break through.
It was such a hill to climb. FaZe certainly getting desperate for their first goal here, and it pays off to come out so hot for Spacestation. Like you said, it feels like FaZe getting into this series now, getting into this game, but with 30 seconds left and down 3 goals, it's tough to get back into it. Reynolds wants to make people dance on the goal line, but all of FaZe got back.
Smartly handled by Sypical. That would have been a tough one to swallow. You're already losing by 3 if Reynolds shakes and bakes and puts you in the oven, cooks you up, and eats you for dinner. Going into game 2, you might feel kind of bad, but Sypical able to stop that out. FaZe making it look respectable in the end, but overall, Spacestation looking like the superior team in game 1.
And it's an interesting concept here for Spacestation, because when we talk about them bringing on Daniel, all of the focus was Daniel, right? The rookie coming in. He's a great player. He's already proven to be fantastic for Spacestation. I think even now, before the series is even over, I think you can make that claim. But I think the bringing on of Daniel has improved Arsenal and Reynolds as well, even if it's just a more of a mental thing. It feels like they're so comfortable on the field, as we're in previous rosters with Sypical on there. It was very, especially in the last split for Spacestation, it was very choppy from them, very inconsistent. It just feels like Spacestation are kind of entering this flow state. So the point is, bringing on those new players can sometimes help your players from before that have been on the roster for a while, right? Arsenal and Reynolds, I feel like, have improved their gameplay now, knowing that they're comfortable with Daniel.
Yeah, like you said, Corelli, sometimes even if you have all the same abilities, all the same mechanics, you're the same player, if the only thing that shifts is perspective, sometimes that can be enough to unlock the next level of a team. And you look at who was the icebreaker in that first game, the very first shot, Daniel putting it top corner. So Spacestation, they are looking threatening in game 1 FaZe. In those final moments, we did see some good passes from them. We saw also some poor passes from First Killer, that back pass attempt that led directly to a goal, but also had a brilliant pass to AJ. However, the defense from Spacestation has been rising to the occasion. FaZe Clan still hunting for their first goal, and they get it from Sypical 2 seconds in.
I had this one going for Sypical 2 seconds, like you said, off the kickoff. And that one stalemates right in the middle of the field. Arsenal can't get back. The backwards flip shot comes out from Sypical. Great speed behind that one, and a kickoff goal will start things off for FaZe.
So that is just what the doctor ordered. FaZe Clan getting back in it. It's not necessarily the prettiest way to score, but
we'll take it. and this is where I think the game is going to start to even out. I know FaZe is up by 1 now, and it's hard to say that, but it feels like even in that previous game, during game 1 late, FaZe really got their bearings, and now they're going to show that offense. That one off the crossbar. Daniel makes a great save once again. He's been called upon a few times to make some spectacular saves. Now First Killer wanted to give it back to AJ, as FaZe trying to ramp up this offense.
It's good vision from First Killer, but that sense from Arsenal, he sniffed out the pass, positioned well to shut it down. We've seen some speed from SSG. Arsenal perhaps looking for a flip reset. Pressure 2 going, First and Sypical. Corner boost there you saw from Reynolds. And now Daniel popping over 1. Flip reset off the backboard. First trying to clear it out to Reynolds. Low shot.
Wow.
And he finds the gap.
Brilliant shot from Reynolds, and he came all the way from his back line. This one popped out. He saw AJ jump and then tried to put it to the left of First Killer as well and snuck it through. Brilliant vision from Reynolds to find that shot, and we're tied up.
And again, it was Daniel leading that charge, Corelli. The flip reset going for backward, forced that touch back from First Killer. Daniel, that was going in, but Sypical in a sixth sense was ready for that shot. And that was a shot, but Sypical matching it with that save.
And it's really
AJ.
great. It's really great to see Daniel. I think a lot of people pegged him as a defensive player, but boy, has he shown off the offense here, at least today and in previous series as well. he can really do it all. He's the full package here for Spacestation. Having a player like that makes Spacestation so much more fluid, but as soon as I start complimenting him, Arsenal has to make a tough save off the whiff from his own teammates, but they bail him out. Oh, man.
I mean, you're talking about bail. Oh, my goodness. They turn it all the way around. Reynolds scores. This has to be frustrating for FaZe. That was almost a certain scoring opportunity. Arsenal paying the $1 million bail. Oh, my.
Out and watching the player cams there. Reynolds and Arsenal on the screen during that goal. They were hyped. I mean, they were hyped in against version 1, but I think this series means a whole lot more. Taking down one of the top teams, projected top teams in NA. And they are hyped up scoring that goal, especially in the circumstances given on defense.
Well-oiled machine. And like you said, Correa, that was a miss defensively. You're thinking that certainly, oh, and AJ does snipe this through, going to the near post. Typical, nice drop down. Wow. That was a lovely pass.
That was great from Typical because it really made Arsenal think. Because Arsenal, in most cases, is going to expect you to go to the back wall, and that's where he went up the back wall very quickly and then dropped back down when he realized Typical wasn't going to get there, and that just put him in no man's land and allowed his teammate to come back him up and take the shot. So good work there from Typical to be creative and throw off the defense.
Arsenal off the ceiling, shut down, double commit. Daniel with the dagger. The double commit proving to be fatal for FaZe.
Oh man, this is going to be a back and forth series, James. And this time, Daniel to lead the charge again on the shot, put it home. Spacestation in front. But as we've seen, these teams have traded blows here in game 2.
It has been a slugfest. Right now, Spacestation landing more punches. Now rebound out.
Oh, he got them both.
Awkwardly
he got them both.
Typical. And you're seeing how hard it has been for FaZe to deal with some of these approaches in that final third on the offensive end. Spacestation being patient and also making smart plays.
Wow, he is really getting the better of the FaZe defense right now. So speedy behind the ball on those air dribbles. It's a little deceiving getting those touches, and he's beating players to the back wall on FaZe and setting up his teammates. Still FaZe down by 1. With 1 minute and 40 seconds left to try and make a comeback here in a game where, like we've been saying, been back and forth, and Spacestation been full throttle throughout.
We have seen some flashes of brilliance from FaZe. That typical pass, it's exactly what FaZe needed. However, the counter punch from Spacestation came moments later. A demo, Reynolds taking out AJ. And the shot coming in,
wow.
Bar down off first killer, and now AJ trying to dribble it out, shut down by a Daniel who had no boost. Redirect chance, but Reynolds breaks that up. FaZe kicking it into high gear. Blocked by AJ.
Doing a good job of making it tough for Spacestation to break out. There's the back post shot from first killer. You could kind of feel that one coming on for FaZe, as they had blocked every clear attempt from Spacestation. A poor touch there from Daniel allowed first killer to find the space and the shot. We're back to being tied up here with less than a minute to go.
This is such a crucial game. Spacestation giving up that first goal. FaZe Clan having the lead, giving it up. And now for Typical to make that pass, Daniel to make that mistake, and first killer tying it up. And now Daniel in the final minute. Corelli, what happened?
He's so good. He just steals it from first killer, gets the second touch off the ceiling. Nobody on the FaZe defense expected that to be so clean for him. The poise to stay with that ball, to know that you could go over the defense, is incredible from Daniel.
He made Typical look silly. Typical was bamboozled on that play. Daniel taking matters into his own hand. Another shot will be deflected off to the side. FaZe, they're trying to battle back. The pass in and it's missed. The right idea. First killer was there, flipped towards it, but couldn't make contact. That was the right play. Execution just short.
A couple of those plays have come out from FaZe. Now 15 seconds left. Looking for one last opportunity, but it might not come. Spacestation might not let it happen as they throw it into the FaZe side. Typical has opportunities downfield. He's got first killer to his left, trying to dish it off. First killer's there to put it home. 5 seconds left, and we're tied up.
And it's Sypical who is rising to the challenge. You see Daniel thinking that Sypical might be going for a flip reset, might be going for a shot. He's trying to shut him down, but that last touch from Sypical, enough to get it over the defender, and First Killer had to shoot that without hitting his own teammate flying through the air. FaZe, they're back in it, and now we're poised for overtime. Unless Sypical can keep this in the air, and he does.
Oh my.
Musty out to the middle.
First Killer's there.
First towards net! And it touches the ground. A hold your breath moment, but we do have overtime.
I'm pretty sure both of us held our breath during that one, as FaZe were that close to stealing this one away, even in a game where it feels like Spacestation have really had FaZe's number. They've put up 12 shots to the 11 now of FaZe, and FaZe really getting the last 4 or 5 shots here in the last 20 seconds or so. Now double demo from First Killer. Daniel to bail his team out with the long clear.
Light tap down First Killer. Airborne, AJ going for the bump. Arsenal being challenged, and Daniel will street back, gets credit for the save. You saw AJ looking for that bump. FaZe, they're not backing down in this overtime. They're willing to go for it all. Ball up, Sypical racing Daniel. Daniel getting bumped out of the play. It'll fall down to AJ, trying to dribble out of his own corner. Reynolds with the steal off the ceiling, gets the demo, but the clear comes through. Hard hit off the backboard. AJ does get the touch. Great finesse from AJ on that.
Used all his boost though, and that, really came back to bite him there. Didn't have anywhere else to go. It's a great touch off the back wall, but here comes Daniel now. It has to pass over to Reynolds. Arsenal punches AJ out of the way. Reynolds, can he go all the way? He almost got through Sypical, but cleared downfield, and now here comes FaZe. Can they set something up off the corner? Sypical accidentally gets a second touch, and that'll slow down FaZe.
And that was such a nice double tap from First Killer on the defensive end, trying to buy time for teammates, even threatening the shot. We've seen him score crazy double taps from possible angles. Both teams elevating their gameplay.
I would say almost literally, James, as everyone's been taking it up into the air. A lot of fake air dribbles coming out, and not a lot of boost to go around. Players taking the ball up in the air just to scare the other side, even if they don't have the boost to take it. Now a big clear comes out from First Killer. Maybe an opportunity here for AJ. Can he work his magic as it gets cleared away? FaZe trying to set something up in the midfield, but Spacestation too rock solid right now, shutting down the long clears, shutting down the passes, and now a big clear from Daniel. Maybe not the best touch from AJ, but Arsenal will get demoed out of the play, and FaZe here to collect.
Pass over. AJ was retreating out. If he recognized that pass lane, that might have been a shooting opportunity for FaZe, who does look to have the upper hand so far in this overtime. 2.5 minutes gone. Oh, pop up. It looked like a side flip from First Killer. And now a demo. Light hit down. Daniel, the 50, it's going to pop it up. Arsenal has to bail on the play. Hit down to Reynolds. Reynolds. Extra tap. Gives up control. Sypical. Now to Daniel. Daniel has the bounce out to the middle. The bounces right out to First Killer. Things getting a bit unstable for FaZe on defense, and now you see the demo come out by Reynolds.
Very patient there from First Killer, not diving in. Very patient from Daniel as he works the corner here, trying to make his way through FaZe's defense, and he'll give it up to First Killer. Tries to work his way into the Spacestation side, but still FaZe have struggled to hold possession once they get on Spacestation Gaming side.
No way!
No
way! What? Oh! Devastating pinch from the corner, and that is how the overtime ends.
Disappointing, I think, as a fan for that one, but for AJ, or for Daniel, a quality challenge, earns himself a goal here on his own.
I mean,
it was a good challenge. That was a good challenge.
It's a good challenge, but how many games have you seen end like that?
Hey, my guy had to he had to get over 1,000 points, okay? He had to drop 1,000.
Wow, Daniel running up the score. 1,017 points, a hat trick, 2 assists, 4 saves, 5 shots. Is that not production?
What more? I mean, look, what more do you want from him? You know, I mean, he just dropped 1,000 points. I know he got it off the pinch skull there, but even before that, doesn't matter about the 1,000 points. The way he's been playing, it's been incredible. And for Spacestation, I mean, at the end of the day, it's an earned win here. They went back and forth with FaZe, who everyone's predicting to be top 2, top 3 at worst. And so for Spacestation, I think they could be pretty happy with the Daniel that they've gotten so far.
No doubt. I mean, Daniel playing such a leading role. You know, usually when you have somebody come in, they can take that supporting role sometimes and let other players kind of step up and shine, and you try to be that glue that holds the team together and just find your spot. Well, Daniel has been leading the charge for Spacestation, and honestly, it seems like an all-out charge from every member of Spacestation. You're seeing the bumps, demos, the aggression, but FaZe, they brought that back. That seemed like they were going to win that game, especially early on in that overtime. You saw AJ trying to go for bumps, trying to make that gap open up, but we just saw a little bit missing. There was the pass opportunity for First Killer, who looked like he was in a scoring position and
he was.
didn't make contact.
Oh, he certainly was. And he couldn't really catch up to that one. And now here comes Spacestation right off the rip, trying to score early. And if the last game was any indication, you know that it's going to take more than one goal. And you would love to have the advantage. If you were going to go back and forth, here's Typical now with no boost, wants to take the challenge. Needs help with AJ as the first 30 have come and gone. This one comes out the First Killer, and Arsenal all over it to prevent the shot.
One thing that FaZe Clan can look to with some confidence is how well Typical played, especially on the passing game. We saw that amazing pass off the ceiling using the under part of his car, and then that last second play passing it down to First Killer for the equalizer. So Typical, he's the one who came over to FaZe trying to make a difference. He has been in this series, but the question is, will the rest of FaZe step up and take it to Spacestation? We see Spacestation looking so confident and firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, that is the question. Is FaZe going to play up to what Spacestation's bringing right now? And certainly FaZe can, and they have in some of these games. But you talk about execution, the ideas are there, but when the opportunity arises, especially when they're not getting a lot of opportunity against the Spacestation defense, they have to execute.
Chance here. AJ trying to pick the ball up straight into an air dribble. Panic clear. Typical waiting for the pass back. It comes. Typical will get blocked out. But that creativity from FaZe Clan almost yielding some results.
Oh my, everyone's just getting blown up right now. Now full boost for AJ, and he'll be taken out as well. Arsenal will take care of business, and Spacestation march downfield.
It's like the 4th of July. So many explosions. First Killer, pass across. AJ there to put it back down to the middle. Light touch. Typical the shot. The team bump, and Typical will get the go-ahead goal. And you said, oh no, I saw that team bump as well.
I don't really know if Reynolds could have gotten back to this one because he just landed, but Daniel bumped into him. I think Typical was putting that one away either way, but for FaZe, slowly breaking down Spacestation, and a very rare mistake of teammates running into each other there. FaZe find themselves up 1-0.
Arsenal going for the air dribble. Almost got the dunk on First Killer, but now First Killer having some space. Pinch will go off to the side. Arsenal up to Reynolds. Reynolds bring it back to the corner. Makes it a bit awkward for FaZe. Shot blocked by First Killer. First Killer reading the play, predicting where that shot was going to come. It was a hard shot and a good setup. But First Killer, the game sense to shut that play down.
The demos coming out from Spacestation right now is really what I'm giggling at, because you know, I'm watching FaZe players having to look around the field to make sure no one's chasing them, and now this one's free as AJ will have to catch back up to it, but it really gives the defense an extra thing to think about when you're headhunting like Spacestation are, as that's a traded demo. This one played dangerously across the box from First Killer, but he didn't have a lot of options with no boost, and FaZe feeling a lot of pressure right now after they went up 1-0.
Not getting the demo there, but the bump on AJ as he tried to take that into an air dribble. Spacestation bringing that trademark aggressiveness into this series. So far having the advantage. A nice flip from Arsenal. He'll bail out and go for the corner boost steal and the bump. Gets a demo. Arsenal now turning, trying to feed that into the middle. And a nice respawn there will help get the ball out for FaZe. Still not out of trouble yet. Arsenal, slow play. First killer half flip back. Going for the 50. Sypical helping him out. Now a chance for FaZe. First killer off the ceiling. Arsenal, cool, calm, collected, catching that on his hood. And Riddle's going for the demo. I don't know if he was just angry there or what.
Yeah, I don't know. He still got him. And that's good communication from Spacestation, especially on defense. When Arsenal's able to bring that one down, knowing no FaZe players are chasing after it, except for first killer, of course. It's good work there, but they've got to get some work downfield. They're down by 1. That one's going to be played off the back wall. No follow-up from FaZe. Daniel will flick it on as it falls back into the hands of FaZe. Arsenal throws it to first killer. First killer with a weak touch towards the Space Station corner. Now less than 20 to go, and FaZe looking to hold on.
Oh, that's a nice setup from AJ to himself. Didn't have enough boost to get behind it, but a chance generated. Arsenal against first killer. First killer with some boost, slowing the play down. A tap high. Reynolds gets bumped by first killer. Feed out to Daniel, and the block is going to send it back. Arsenal keeping the play alive is demoed, and that'll do it. FaZe Clan respond in game 3 with a shutout.
Little taste of his own medicine there right at the end. AJ on Arsenal, just to make sure, just to hammer it home in the demolitions, as FaZe squeak one out here. Was not easy for them, but I mentioned in the beginning, it's going to take more than one. I was wrong. It took one for FaZe. It was very close here. And again, I still feel like that Space Station defense has been rock solid. They just need a little bit more of that offensive pressure. I think FaZe actually cleaned up their defensive side a lot more here, just to allow, or to not allow, the space that was given previously to Space Station here.
And also a big save from first killer on that shot from Daniel. First killer predicting where that shot was going to come. Easily could have been the equalizing goal. But overall, FaZe Clan, Corelli, it looks like they might be turning the corner, especially in that last game. Seemed like that was theirs. It seemed like they had the slight edge, and it was that pinch from all the way on the other side of the field that ended and decided things. But FaZe Clan, have they turned that corner? It looks like they might have. So going into this game, FaZe, do you think one more goal is going to be enough, Corelli?
No, I don't. I think that was an anomaly here for this series, but I feel like for Space Station, the defense has been good. The offense is what needs to pick up. We saw a lot of demos that were great, but they didn't hold possession to capitalize on those demos, and it's important to have both. And I'm not saying they should stop the demo game, but more so find more opportunities where players who are on the ball can make a difference.
Well, here we go. Space Station and FaZe. This one's shaping up to be a close match. 2 go from FaZe. Daniel denied by Sypical. Sypical had to make that stop, and not only that, prevent the rebound, and he was able to make the play.
With Arsenal in his face as well. Arsenal is falling from the sky. He had to dodge Arsenal. Now FaZe with a passing play. Almost worked out. Arsenal came through to save the day. And now just lob it downfield as Sypical will easily pop that one up. But here comes Daniel. Maybe an opportunity. Wanted to drop it right side. It just went wide as FaZe let it go.
They were at the mercy of that shot. Amidst the double tap. Rebound on the goal line. And it's saved again. The ricochet. Sypical getting in the way. Even on Space Station, we've seen Sypical play that rock-solid third-man defensive game. And we're just a minute into game 4. Sypical making the same plays as he used to.
And those are the scary things with FaZe when you talk about their defensive structure. It sometimes feels like there's a glitch in FaZe where all of a sudden they just struggle to make the saves. This time now Sypical diving across his goal line to turn this one away in a low boost situation for AJ as he watches Arsenal carry this one across the box. Daniel trying to make the difference in the corner. Won't happen as Sypical clears it away, but FaZe have to keep that structure on defense. Otherwise, it comes crumbling down quite quickly.
We saw them double commit. Sypical bailing them out, just like Arsenal bailed out Space Station earlier on in this series. Sypical playing well from the get-go. And FaZe starting to tighten up the ship. AJ, lob towards net, easily handled by Daniel. This will be a pop-up for Arsenal. Back to Reynolds in the midfield. Back down to Arsenal, but Arsenal, you saw him perhaps hunting for a demo or a bump. It's a tug of war in this game. Neither team really in a position of dominance.
Yeah, the game has certainly slowed down to stop the mistakes coming out from defenses. First killer almost gets the flip reset. A lot less scoring happening here. Sypical wants to find a way through Arsenal. Space Station, the challenge game defensively has still been so strong. As they do find a way out. FaZe. Now Sypical, the shot on target. Daniel dives across the box to make the save.
That wasn't comfortable. Daniel with a block that shot. We've seen AJ up in people's faces, going for bumps, going for boost steals. Reddles getting taken out by AJ's second effort, but now Arsenal on the attack. It'll pop up. First killer sees AJ in the middle. A pop for AJ off the ceiling, loses control, and now Reddles with the dribble. Daniel, oh, and you see Reddles perhaps losing control of that ball. So tactical. You're seeing SSG slow the ball down, looking at the positioning of FaZe, trying to figure out if they need to boom it, if they can take it, control it, go for the flicks. This game feeling like a chess match, and the move almost paying off, but well defended. Double tap ball for Arsenal. And Sypical again getting a piece of the ball.
He's got 5 saves so far in this game. Sypical keeping FaZe in it, certainly, with how they've played on defense and the pressure they felt. You know, I asked for Space Station to show more offense, and they certainly have, but FaZe, specifically Sypical, are not letting them through at the moment.
The bounce gets through. Reddles stopped again by Sypical. Daniel, a tip over. Hit high by first killer. Arsenal down to Daniel. You see Daniel getting a bump. Reddles against first killer. Bouncing high off the ceiling. Low boost situation for AJ and Sypical. Daniel had to get too far away. Arsenal going airborne. 50 ball. Bouncing down to first. First. Tap out. Second effort. Trying to dribble. Reddles passes it out to AJ. This could be bad, but is able to jump back on the ball.
Here comes the counter. Space Station, they put up 9 shots so far to the 4 of FaZe. They've been knocking on the door all game long. 15 seconds remain. Maybe the last drive here for Space Station if Daniel can get a hold of it. Didn't have the best takeoff there as FaZe will not let him out. 10 seconds to go. AJ threatening on the back wall, and a good clear from Arsenal. Might give opportunity now for Space Station. Arsenal to the back wall. Here comes Daniel. The shot at target. Oh, he beat AJ. 0 seconds. Daniel to win the game for Space Station.
And it doesn't look like you could fit a piece of paper between that ball and the ground. How that was not an overtime and how that did not bounce, I will never know.
Wow.
Another shocking ending to the game. FaZe Clan, if you're a FaZe fan, I'm sure this is going to hurt. You saw the pinch all the way across field. 0 seconds now when it looks like it hit the ground, but it was just enough. And guess who it was that had that game-breaking play?
Stack said it. Stack said it the previous series. He's been clutch for Space Station, and that's what you want. I mean, that is best case scenario when you pick up a rookie to be clutch in big time situation. Let's just start at RLCS. That's a big deal, but to do it against a team like FaZe, that's a completely different beast. And I think there are very few players that are going to be clutch in their first season, their first weekend in RLCS like Daniel has. And, you know, say what you want about the way these games have ended for Space Station, they've always ended up on top.
They have it, and you just look at the fact that Sypical left this team looking for greener pastures. Daniel comes in with something to prove.
Yep.
I think there's more than just points and money on the line out there on the field, Corelli.
A blessing in disguise, maybe, for Space Station, as they're going to have to do it one more time here against FaZe. Up 3-1 in the series in Game 5 here. FaZe certainly been no slouches here. It's been very, very close. It has not been complete destruction by Space Station by any means, but they have been better in most cases as they try and march through this best of 7 into the finals.
And it took NRG all of 7 games to get through FaZe Clan. Space Station might do it in 5. And that one rebound out. Reddles too close to the play. FaZe, despite taking down Space Station in the group stage here in this lower final, with the grand finals bid on the line, find themselves trailing. Sypical has been playing well all series, but offensively, we have not seen First Killer and AJ produce what we expected them to in this situation, but it's not too late.
Yeah, specifically AJ was very quiet in that last game. At one point, he only had like 78 points with like a minute left. Not getting a lot of touches on the ball, not getting a lot of opportunities downfield, and he's been the big playmaker for FaZe this weekend. That's typical. He'll pull it off the crossbar. What was that save from Daniel to keep the sheet clean? Incredible stuff again, but he's got to go again on the back wall to gear it out.
We're going to have to break out the film from the high-speed camera to see how the heck Daniel kept that ball out of net.
Oh, he can do it all. He's clutch on offense. He's clutch on defense.
And that was a lovely shot from Sypical. It just seems like FaZe cannot catch a break. There's something special about this young player, Daniel. And we're seeing the magic on the field, Corelli.
Yeah. Yes, we are. As they are threatening once again. FaZe really need to get something going here. I'm surprised no timeout coming out from FaZe. So they're going to have to do it here. Trying to find some semblance of offense right now. They've had a few shots. 5 to be exact in this game as we approach halftime, but the saves coming out from Space Station have been tough to beat. It's First Killer looking for more space. Typical there on a couple of touches off the back or sidewall, excuse me, looking for the back wall as Daniel has time to collect.
FaZe so close to pulling this off. This series would look so much different if it weren't for those 2 plays that happened on the edge of a blade. Daniel defensively looking good. Touch, taking it across, and now into a dribble. AJ, no boost, so he got the stop, but be overpowered on the follow-up. Now demoed, First Killer over Arsenal. Daniel taking it up high, First Killer, patience, waiting, Sypical's, his shot will be shut down by Reddles, who's been speedy to get up and block those shot attempts right at the origin. Daniel slowing down, popping it over his hood. Patience from Space Station, the trust to allow those teammates stay in longer than you'd expect. Speed flip from First Killer and the mid boost. Something shaping up potentially, but slowed down. And Reddles forcing Sypical into an awkward defensive position. Space now. Arsenal bailing out, letting Daniel take a turn, and now it's cleared all the way back. Another low-scoring game that I would not be surprised if it was decided by a single play.
Yeah. You mentioned the previous game was a chess match. This one, the same exact way. Not a lot of opportunities for both sides as a big clear comes out from Reddles. Sypical having to deal with it awkwardly.
Even that play, Corelli, to not only get the difficult read off the backboard, but to put a shot all the way on target and force an awkward situation. Space Station looking good. Now 50 rebound out to First Killer, and that's gonna be good. The pressure forcing that 50 on the goal line.
Oh my.
That is exactly what needed to happen. Well done by Sypical.
Well done by Sypical, well done by AJ as well. When he came back to the ground, he flipped into a player to remove him from the equation. Sypical coming in as well, and First Killer to put it home.
Oh, fake kickoff. Will this work? Sypical can't get to it. Still fighting for possession. 50 off the corner. First Killer denied the boost as well.
Oh no.
It was a valiant effort there from Space Station, but an overextension. They go all in and it doesn't pan out. And FaZe will stay alive for another game.
That's such a tough read for Reddles. I can't blame him for not getting that one. It came off the ceiling right before it caught the edge, and it made it tougher. Space Station faltering here to close out the series. And FaZe, it took them to the last minute to really turn on that offense. They put up 10 shots. Hold on a second. Reddles almost put that one away. But some good work here by FaZe. A lot of physical play coming back out. It seems like in the beginning of the series, it was a lot faster, a lot quicker, especially with that physical play. It's coming back out here, but First Killer gonna put this one to bed as FaZe Clan fight back here in this best of 7.
And that last goal, it might be an example of what's to come. FaZe Clan stepping up on the elimination game, saying we're not going home just yet. And Corelli, looking at all these games individually, this very easily could be FaZe Clan closing it out if it weren't for those 2 games that Spacestation won by the thinnest of margins. If that had gone the other way, FaZe Clan, they're playing well enough to have already won at this point. These teams so close together, so closely matched.
Yeah.
And this seems like one of those situations where we might be going to game 7.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's say what you want about the pinch from Daniel, but let's not take away from the clutchness he had on that second touch to give Spacestation the win in game 4. So for Spacestation, though, this game was something that we had talked about earlier. When you go up against FaZe Clan, you're going to feel a lot of that pressure. You're going to kind of get put in the blender a little bit, and Spacestation really struggled to keep possession downfield. It's not that they didn't have opportunities. It was just that FaZe kept Spacestation pushed back so much, put them in so many awkward opportunities on the ball that it just felt like Spacestation could never break out cleanly. That was the difference here. FaZe didn't do a great job of putting on the pressure or putting shots away, but they had enough opportunities where they finally cracked through.
And the defense has been the difference maker for FaZe in these latter games. But as I say it, 7 seconds in, Reynolds with the go-ahead goal.
Arsenal, that's a quality challenge coming out from him, and you can see Sypical kind of got sent for a loop. He thought his team was going to win that challenge, and then he had to loop back into the net, and by that time, Reynolds was picking out his spot on the far post. Spacestation with an early lead.
Air dribble, the 50. Go off the ceiling. Sypical up quickly. Both players missed. Still tough situation for FaZe. Trying to get out of that debt that they incurred after going for that ball and missing it. First Killer had it over his head. This one rolling towards net, and Reynolds will come through to get the challenge.
Spacestation happy to boom this one downfield, but again, not able to hold on to the ball. That's a great challenge from Reynolds, but you would prefer not to have it. Now Daniel, he'll find the spot. They really made that one work from Spacestation, and they're up by 2.
And Sypical's been so good, and your heart breaks for a player when they're playing such good defense, and then to make that mistake, you saw him awkward on the wall. He was reversing, jumped from a position you don't normally find yourself in, couldn't get to the ball. And that shot, upper 90, beautifully done. Spacestation, 2-goal lead, just a minute in. Will it be 3? No, it will not. Pinched out by First Killer, but it's already looking dire for FaZe, who have their back to the wall. They cannot afford to lose this game. Spacestation, a few minutes away from marching on to the grand finals to play NRG.
Very reminiscent of game 1, where Spacestation just came out and smacked FaZe right from the get-go. They're up by 2 here in the first minute and a half. I believe they were up by 3 at one point in game 1. And they're just looking for more. It's up to FaZe now to make the changes. At Spacestation, they're going to put away a third. 3:25 left on the clock, and it's all Spacestation right now.
And you see Daniel calling the bluff. He's faking it. Sypical thinks he's playing it slow, shadowing properly, and then Daniel bumping him out of the way. Easy goal for Reynolds. Daniel making another high-impact play. 3 goals now for Spacestation. Both games that FaZe won in this series were shutouts against Spacestation. They've only managed to score more than 3 goals a single time. This one looking to get out of hand. Spacestation hunting for the 4th. Rebound out to Reynolds. The shot will be blocked by Sypical, but Spacestation, they're in such a dominant position right now.
Yeah.
It's tough to imagine FaZe digging their way back into this one.
And they're talking. You take a look at the player cams when these goals are going through for Spacestation. They are hype. And you look over at FaZe. Very, very quiet at the moment. Needs something to ignite this team, and they're going to need it quickly if they're going to come back in this. First Killer got to pick the spot. He will, and that might do it for FaZe to get back into this game.
A glimmer of hope. You saw AJ trying to get the redirect, ended up going back out to Sypical, and First Killer, the hard shot. Didn't have as much height as he was probably looking for, but the power was there. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. 2 goals that FaZe need to score to at least force overtime. Let's sit tight and see if it happens. FaZe find themselves battling out of their own corner. Reynolds the boost steal. And he side flips, opening up a window. The give and go, and beautiful. It's good. First to AJ, back to first. FaZe within 1.
And this is where I think FaZe have really leveled up their game from split to split. When we did not see a lot of this in the fall, it was very, very direct from FaZe. Now the selfless plays, finding each other and trusting their teammates to be at the right spot and reading the play properly. That has spelled so many more goals for FaZe. They're within 1.
A moment ago, I thought this was over, and just like that, FaZe are back in it. The side flip from Reynolds at the midfield, opening up that chance, but that was a gorgeous passing play. Typical 50 against Reynolds, first killer. Does he have enough space to go for the solo play? We'll find out. Flip reset didn't look good. He gets dunked on. Typical had just enough boost to hit it high, but still they have to battle the rebounds. On 0, Typical looking for a 50. Can't get to the ball. He's being harassed by Reynolds as well. Daniel pre-flip out, going for the bump, but first killer able to dodge it and clear it out.
Dicey situations here on the FaZe defense. Typical out of boost for most of those plays. Still able to field it now. A demo on Daniel will lower the numbers on the Space Station side as on their attacks. Typical trying to hold on to this one. Again, first killer jumping after it. Miscommunications coming out from FaZe. Still no threat, but maybe it's yet to come. Arsenal gets under 1. Makes the defense think about it, but AJ picks it up. Daniel to take a shot on target. It's weak. And first killer to turn it away.
The patience from Space Station all series long has been marvelous. You see Arsenal, one of the most patient players, dribbling that ball, making it awkward for the defense. Daniel almost scoring that shooting opportunity. Less than a minute left. This is it for FaZe Clan. Their tournament life will end unless they can put one more in. That went off the crossbar. It bounces down. Rebounder Reynolds. It's wide. Life still for FaZe.
The demo on Typical, that was an open net. Nobody was home from FaZe. Space Station still up, now a big miss. Daniel, can he put it away? A huge save from Typical, and now FaZe have to get down the field.
It's coming down to the wire here on Neo Tokyo. The bounce pass into the middle. Arsenal 0 boost. He's committing heavily towards the backboard. Typical. Hard out. Reynolds back pass. Arsenal beat by first killer. Last chance here for FaZe. Typical will have a look. Arsenal clearing it to the sideline. Gets the block as well. And that will be it. Space Station take down FaZe Clan and will be heading to the grand finals to take on NRG.
Wow, wow, wow. Gibbs saying he's no first killer. And like you said, James, he's definitely not. He's Daniel and Space Station. Looking strong against FaZe here and a worthy contender against NRG.
And I'm glad we got a glimpse of what being Daniel is all about. The clutch factor, the pinch from his own goal line all the way across map from downtown, and that 0-second shot. And you even think about starting off this series with a goal, that dribble, the bump, setting up Reynolds. Daniel did so much for Space Station this game, but in the end, it was a team effort. You saw Arsenal slowing down the plays, the aggression from Reynolds and Arsenal. A few mistakes, we did see it. We saw Reynolds with that side flip and the give and go for FaZe. FaZe played Space Station so closely. You know, I think this series was worthy of a Game 7. Both of these teams so close. It looks like the top 3 in North America, at least after this X Games Open, Crowley, it seems like FaZe, Space Station, and NRG are a cut above the rest right now.
Oh, absolutely. When we talk about Daniel all the time, the gameplay of Arsenal and Reynolds has been elevated. Like you said, it's been a team effort. We talked a lot about Daniel, very clutch here in this series, but Arsenal and Reynolds were just as amazing for Space Station. Like I said, looking to be very worthy contenders when they go into NRG here.
So FaZe Clan's story here at the X Games Opens ends, but for Space Station, it's still being written, and we're going to find out the closing chapters after the break. We've got NRG taking on Space Station Gaming.